Hi, it's Garry, and welcome to today's live stream. I'm just going to fiddle with the camera. Had a bit of an oh dear me moment before the stream started. I like to get things ready early, which is a good idea because I was getting my stuff ready about 20 minutes ago. Turned on OBS and it couldn't see my mic and it couldn't see my camera. And I said, oh dear me, that's a bit of a pain, or maybe some words which sound very, very similar. So I've just been fiddling around. I've got it working, obviously, as you can tell. But I got it working by having to move all the wires around. I'm actually happy with the wiring as it is now anyway. But yeah, what a pain in the butt when you're thinking, right, everything's ready, let's go on and do that live broadcast. So let's jump into the weather. There, I can see there's some comments already. So let me just fetch this up. We don't want that. And here we go, Safari. So temperature here at the moment, 20 degrees Celsius. That's 68 Fahrenheit. Been a bit of a warm week. We've had a couple of days where it was over 30. Oh, I like them days. But yeah, definitely cooling down. My ankles are feeling really nippy at the moment, so I may end up putting a pair of socks on. I don't like wearing socks when I've got shorts on, but sometimes you have to do what you have to do. My throat's a little bit dry, so I'll just have an early drink of cordial. We'll be back to the tea now. Oh no, you didn't see that because we were on there now. Anyway, we're back. Today's mug, it's a Marvel mug, and it's Earl Grey tea. I'm on my last run of Earl Grey tea at the moment, so I would, about a month's worth, and then I'll look for something different. So let's head over to the comments. So we've got David. Here we go. Oh, I thought for a minute then that my comments weren't coming up properly. Hello from Austin, and this is part of God's beautiful creation where it's 85 Fahrenheit, 29.4 Celsius. I'm jealous of that temperature, I can tell you. Blonde Scales 1, hello from Arkansas, welcome to you. Steve, another beautiful spring day in Utah. Yeah, for an autumn day, it's actually, for an autumn day it'd be nice. It's winter though. I know, I don't know, I'm getting my seasons all muddled. Let me just work this out. So December, January, February, we're going to March. It is August. It is spring, not spring. Oh my gosh, I'm really going to pot here. It's autumn or fall. Marie, hello from Michigan. Welcome to you. We've got Ricardo coming in there from London. Good morning. Welcome to you, Ricardo. We've got a hello to Ricardo and to Marie. Blonde Scales 1, you were saying, yeah, all sorts of things. Yes, it's a good job the mic wasn't working because if YouTube had picked it up, I think I'd have been banned from YouTube. I can say some very rude words when I want to. David, hi Blonde Scales. Blonde Scales 1, we've got a hi. David, hi Steve. Kaz, good evening, morning all. And Gary waving from London. Welcome to you, Kaz. I know early in the morning, you and Ricardo, what's it, 1:30 in the morning. I'm normally snoring at 1:30 in the morning. Then Ricardo, we've got hi David. Let me just do a refresh. Got to go up here, hit that button, and that wakes the keyboard up. Come on. So the problem with using a Bluetooth keyboard is it goes to sleep after 10 minutes, which is my choice. I said at the time, I did try leaving it on once, but it just drained the battery so fast. Atomic Elf, hi everyone from Southern California, welcome to you. And let's do another refresh. Sorry, coughing away here. Okay, so today's talking subject. This is another one where, to be honest, I want input more from you lot than me. Obviously, I'll have to start talking whilst people are thinking about it. I watched a couple of weeks ago the Stephen J. Brown video where he was talking about his favourite pen material. I thought that was really interesting. I thought that would be an interesting thing to talk about on the live stream. So what's your favourite material? Drop it into the chat. If you're watching afterwards, drop it into the comments. there's loads of different materials, isn't there? I mean, just on my desk here, I've got like an acrylic. I've got metal, which is like a coppery metal. I've got another metal pen. Got like a resin. Just got plain ordinary there. Don't know why that's just popped up. Let me just get rid of that. You know, I've got this attractive acrylic. This is a resin, should I say? This is Jonathan Brooks Primary Manipulation 3.5. I've got, again, I don't call it a resin. And what I've got okay, more metal. We've got plastic. Loads of different materials. Be interesting though, what are people's favourites? I find I gravitate now a lot more towards like the acrylic or the resin type pens, especially ones where the patterning is quite attractive. So, you know, with that, the narwhal here, absolutely gorgeous material. Behind me, on a shelf in a box you can't see, he says, it's hard to see it. Let me grab it. Oops. In here, this is what I call my pretty pens box. Try and get it so you don't get a reflection of the screen. You know, so in there I've got wooden pens. They're where I put all my pretties. So I'm going to jump into the comments and see what we've been getting in there. Then we'll come back. But yeah, for me, it's the acrylic style, or resin, should I say. Jim, hi all from GA. Welcome to you, Jim. Atomic Elf, it's 62 Fahrenheit or 17 Celsius. Yeah, starting to get cold, isn't it? Miss Marilyn Darling, hi Gary, hi everyone. Welcome to you, Miss Marilyn Darling. Marilyn, my favourite is the Leonardo Memento Magico Esmeralda. All pens should be made with this acrylic. It's so beautiful. Is that the blue one? My Memento Magico is in the... He says, let's turn this around so we got it right. You don't want to be seeing out the window. Well, you might want to see out the window. Got one of my weeds have grown, the birds of paradise out there, which is nice when I turn around so I can look at that. Not sure if the camera can pick that up though because it's so bright out there. I might have to take a photo of it. So here's my Magico. This is in the meal pattern, which is beautiful. Like they call it honey. Meal is Italian for honey, apparently. It's really nice though. When I first got it, I was a bit, ooh, did I make a mistake with that? But yeah, the more I use it, the more it really grows on me. Ricardo to Kaz, hi. I've got a quick question. Do you know of any retailer in the UK that would sell ink samples? The writing desk used to do it, but I haven't seen anyone else doing it. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure about pure pens. It's not really. I don't really buy samples anymore. Problem is, I think as long as you don't mind diamine inks, they're so cheap that you can get that 30ml bottle for what we would over here pay for a price of a sample. That's why I've got so many diamine inks, though, to be honest. But on scales 1, I love the feel of my just turned opal turned resin in satin finish. I just want to pet it. Yeah, it's finishes as well. That's an interesting one. Most of my pens are, he says, like this one where we've got the glossy finish. But I do have a couple of pens now where it's got a matte finish. Let me see if I've got one here. Is it here? Yeah, it's here. So again, this one's just turnings. This is a Jonathan Brooks material. This is elven wood. I know the camera doesn't really do it justice, but this is matte. Let me go over to the iPhone. Oh, do you know I've made such a mess of my desk? Right, let's go over to the iPhone camera. That'll be a better one to look at. I've just moved my paper out of the way. So these are both just turnings pens. They're both Jonathan Brooks materials. So this is the elven wood. This is the matte finish. Okay, and this is Golden Blue Jay, so this has got a gloss finish on it. So hopefully there you can see the differences between the finishes. I know the materials are different as well, but it's just a finish we're looking at. And I'm quite liking them matte finishes now. That one does, I think they both go well. Pop them over there. I'll sort that out after the stream. We'll come back to the camera. So yeah, that was a good thing there what you're saying about the finishes. Kaz to Ricardo, Tom's studio sells samples, but I think only his inks. Ricardo, hi Miss Marilyn darling. Atomic Elf, that Elven Wood makes me drool. It does with me. Reason I got it, I very much like fantasy books, as you may have noticed from a lot of the books that I read. And I especially, the race that I've got the affinity with is the elves. I know I'm not exactly shaped to be an elf. I wish I was. But they're like the one that really I've... And many years ago... brain done dead. Many years ago, when I tried, the RPG type games, I always made my character to be an elf. So Elven Wood, yeah, I just thought, yeah, that reminds me so much of that, and that's why I got the Elven Wood one, and I'm glad I did because it's another stunner. Kaz, Cult pens sell mystery ink boxes with sample sizes in them. That's something worth trying, because then sometimes it's nice to get something where you don't know what it is. Ricardo, to Kaz, thanks, we'll have a look. Marilyn, it's a greenish teal and it looks very close to your salt, only in greenish teal. Brilliant, thanks for that. That was on about the the Esmeraldo. Again, I've only seen it on screens, and that's where I think sometimes the colours can seem a bit different. Jim, I make pens and make blanks from a word beginning with aluminite, urethane, but matte ebonite has a wonderful feel too. Yeah, I've been getting a little bit into some ebonite pens lately. I've got a couple of ebonite pens now. One of them, well, actually unboxed last week. I have recorded it. Let me grab it from the pen case. I don't know, going all over today. So this is an ebonite pen. This is a Click Yen. This is black ebonite. And then I've got here this, again by Click, this is another ebonite. Or they actually said it was ebonite. Whether it is or not, I can't tell. But again, let me go over to the camera, the iPhone. That's my pen case there. Let me move it out of the way. You can't really see a black pen on a black background. So again, we've got two different finishes. So we've got like the matte finish on the Yen, and on this Falcon we've got, helps if I have it in the camera, the shiny finish, the gloss finish. But really quite surprised, and I don't know why, but the ebonite, when I've been using this week, even on the Falcon, does feel a little bit warmer than other things. Let me pop that over there. If the wife saw my table now, she'd be shouting because I've got things all over the place. Kaz to Ricardo, Cult Pens also do a sample box selection of pens. Steve, how do you tell the difference between plastic, acrylic and resin unless you are told what the material is? I've got to be honest, it's unless you're told what the material is. And I think most of them, it's just different ways of saying the similar thing. So acrylic and resin, I believe, are very, very similar. Plastic obviously is different. There's plastic. But acrylic and resin, I mean, this is a fully wen pen. Yeah, I think they're just different ways of saying the same thing. It's like some places will say precious resin, acrylic. Ricardo, to Garry, that's why I have 30 plus Diamine bottles all in the 30ml. Exactly the exact same thing that happened to me. Blonde Scales 1, my Diamine collection is growing because the bottles are so cheap from Cult Pens. Yeah, completely with you on that. Kaz, I like the gloss finish on any material for pens as long as it has some weight. Yeah, I say most of my pens are gloss, but I'm starting to get into that matte finish. I don't know. I never thought I'd like it, but it's drawing me to it. Blonde Scales 1. Sorry about that. I'm a sucker for mystery boxes and bags. Love seeing what you get in them. Yeah, I think sometimes that's quite a good idea. You know, it's that surprise, and it takes you out of the comfort zone. Pardon me. Oh. Steve, not sure, but a distinction I make is the word acrylic is mainly used on turn pens and plastic with injection moulded. Miss Marilyn, darling, can't see you. Some people would say that's a good thing. Yeah, I did hopefully got everything back into the camera in the end. Yeah, so Marilyn there is saying it's plastic and they're all types of plastic. And then Steve, thanks to Ricardo. Jim, Reddit has a sub-fountain pen swap folder for where people sell lots of ink. I don't use Reddit anymore. I used to use it all the time. I used to go 2 or 3 times a day checking out various subreddits. But I want to say about 18 months ago, they changed it and they stopped all third-party Reddit clients from accessing it unless they paid a stupid amount of money. I used a third-party app because it gave a really nice interface, whereas the Reddit interface I just did not really like. And I thought, well, stuff this. What I'm getting from Reddit, I can usually find something similar on Mastodon or Blue Sky, X. I know I only read X. I don't post onto X anymore. And Facebook. So yeah, I just dropped looking at Reddit. Blonde Scales 1. I also like the pattern on my Viper. Yeah, them Vipers look quite interesting, don't they? Atomic Elf. Plastic is a generic term / classification, kind of like bread. Blonde Scales 1. Satin is nice because there's a slightly shinier finish than the matte. I'll have to try that sometime. Not planning on getting anything from from Just Turnings for a while. I might get something from that pen bloke and see if he does it. But that won't be for a few months. Atomic Elf 1. Acrylic and precious resin are just types of plastic unless it's a natural resin material like urushi. And even then with urushi from memory, most of those is like the body's actually the bulk of it's ebonite, and then the urushi is like a lacquer system that's put on top of it, and you know it's loads and loads of thin layers of lacquer. I'm just running off memory there. I don't have any urushi pens. Might be something I need to again look at in the future. So let me refresh the comments. Okay, no comments for the moment. That was quite interesting, that discussion. Oh, here we go. David, precious resin is more a translational problem from German than anything else. Let's face it, it's very good plastic. Yeah, it's all marketing terms, really. So let's head on over, and hopefully I can get this paper in roughly the right place, to the pen of the week. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, let me get the mic. There we go. Here's my paper. This is MD cotton pad, Midori cotton pad, should I say. The pen of the week. It was from Pelikan, and it's the Pelikan M205. So this is the, I'm going to say silver or steel coloured trim. It's a steel nib. Piston filling pen. You can just about hear, this is very dark, but you can just about see ink levels through here. So although not ideal, it's usable for that. It's a small pen. I have to use this posted. But once I post it, it doesn't feel too bad. Quick look at the nib here. There we go. So I say it's a steel nib from Pelikan or Pelikan. So we've got the Pelikan M205 with a broad nib. Price wise, you're looking approximately 205 Aussie dollars. The ink, it's by Colourverse, and it's Blue Moon. Love this ink. When I first saw it, it was one of those where I thought to myself, oh, it was a bit wishy-washy, but now I've got it in a pen and actually using it, I think it comes out really nice. So that's the pen of the week. So the first pen I used this week is by Narwhal, and I've pulled this out a couple of times already. Although it's the Nautilus shape or the Voyager shape, this was called the 365. It was 2021. We've got that little ink window there, nice proper ink window. There's not a lot of ink in here. This pen, I'm hoping we'll get through what we want to do today, because otherwise it's out of ink. Piston filling pen. The piston mechanism did come out, so I've managed to get in more or less. I still need to do some more fiddling with it. I've got a wrench now that'll fit it, so I will maybe do that when I clean it out this time. I might give it a really good deep clean. It's a nice comfortable pen though, nice size. I've swapped the nib, so I've got a Goulet Yoho nib there. So we've got a Narwhal 365 with a broad nib. Price wise, you're looking approximately 241 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. It's Grotto, one of their extreme sheen inks. Nice colour, not as nice as Sleigh Ride, but yeah, still quite nice. Up next, we've got a Cross Bailey Light. Just a grey colour. In a way that's quite handy because it makes it easy for doing matches. This is a piston filling pen. Not a piston, no it isn't, it's a cartridge converter. The ink in here is not a Diamine ink. It's not a Pure Pens ink. Sorry, it's not a Diamine ink, it's not a Colourverse ink. It's a Pure Pens ink. And I use that ink for a very specific reason, which I went into more detail last week. But let's have a quick look. So Cross Bailey Light with a medium nib. Price wise is about 38 Aussie dollars, quite reasonable. And the ink, I say, is by Pure Pens. This is a Welsh company. It's St George's Cross. It's become a tradition of mine that I use Pure Pens St George's Cross on St George's Day, which is April the 23rd. So when this was empty about 10 days ago, that's why I've put this ink in. Although I'm looking at it, I may need to fill it again, although there might be enough there to get me through past the 23rd of April with it. So that's the Cross Bailey Light. Up next, from Narwhal, we've got the Narwhal School Till. This is Paul Peter Navy. Not quite out of ink. We've got that ink window there. I might hopefully get another day or two out of this. So we've got a Narwhal School Till. These have been creeping up in price, I've noticed, over the last couple of years. This has got a medium nib. The price now is about 102 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. And it's a walnut. Nice brown ink. Haven't used it very much, so I'm glad I've got it in this pen. We're going up again. I'm not going too much detail on all of these. I'm going to, mainly because we've looked at them a few times. Next up, we've got that Monteverde Ritma. This is a metal pen, good solid weight to it. Another converter there. Loads of ink still left in this. I have filled this once already this month. And here we've got that nice black nib. So we got a Monteverde. I forgot what it was called for a minute then. And it's the Ritma with a broad nib. Price wise, it's about 103 Aussie dollars on me. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Black Ivy. Very deep green colour, got a beautiful red sheen on top of it. So that's that Monteverde Ritma. Up next, from Retro 51, we've got the Retro 51 Tornado. This is the Lincoln, so it's like a copper pen. I think it's just a sheath that goes over the main body. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. This one, I can't decide yet whether I should re-ink this or not. Hopefully it will get us through today. So we've got here a... No, let me just prime the feed. So I've pushed that converter all the way down to the bottom now. And a squeaky, squeaky again. No, it's not going to work. Let me just... Sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time the cartridge comes loose. So see if that'll help. No. So I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to re-ink that or not. The ink in here is by Diamine Raspberry Rose. I've already re-inked this pen once this month, so you can see how much I've been enjoying using it. So the final pen, that Ritma, by the way, not the Ritma, the Retro 51, about 119 Aussie dollars. So the final pen by Conklin, it's an all-American model. I've got 3 Conklin pens. This is the only one that actually writes with no problems. All the others, I've had all sorts of weird problems with them. It's lovely though, this Courage, I've got this beautiful white, like plastic or acrylic or whatever we want to call it today. And there we've got the converter. I like the converters on these because they screw in, so you know they're nice and solid. So we've got here a Conklin All-American with a broad nib. Price-wise, you're looking approximately 194 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Colorverse, and it's Pulsar Pulse. Nice, gorgeous blue ink there. And again, this is a blue that dries, and it has a gorgeous red sheen when it dries. I know you can't see my hands, which is a shame because I was saying how nice it is. So that's that All-American. Let's head on back over. Oh. I could do like a slide thing here, so I can just slide myself up and down. I don't want to have wheels on my stool, and I do prefer using the stool than a chair. When I was using my desk chair, I was finding I was getting a lot of issues with my back. It really was aching all the time. So I swapped over to sitting on the using the stool. I've had the stool for ages, and that's really taken away. I have no more back problems just by changing from that chair onto the stool. And I think the reason is with the stool, I sit up straighter, whereas with the chair, I had a tendency to slouch or be leaning back all the time. But I was usually slouched, whereas with this, I do find my back is straighter. I have got underneath this, which is why I have to be careful when I bounce it, I've got a rubber mat because my desk is a sit-stand desk. On these, I always do them sitting down, but, you know, sometimes when I'm working at my desk during the week, I like to stand up, especially when it's something I don't need to do too much typing with. Writing's fine. I don't like typing when it's high up. But, yeah, anyway, we weren't here to hear about that. Evan, welcome to you, Evan. I just purchased a Viper, and I really like it. It's the blue. The colour really pops. Love the feel of the Viper in the hand. Yeah, the only Diplomat I've got is the Aero. I absolutely love that. I think they're very similar shapes. Talking about Vipers and snakes, it wasn't last week, it was the week before. Me and my wife were sat in the lounge, we were watching TV, and then suddenly I get a message pop up from my son. He sits outside on the patio, this time of year you can do, and he sent me a message saying, "I've just had a green snake go under the sofa," which is what he was sitting on. And I sent back a message saying, "Get out of there as quick as you can until we know what type of snake it is." My wife and Lucas, they both went out after a few minutes, and they were looking everywhere. We couldn't find the snake. which is, I think, a bit more worrying than the fact that we could. Choice of snakes that we had here, he said it was like a green, a bright green colour. So the choice of snakes we had was an arboreal tree snake, I think, which are non-venomous, or a dugite, which is extremely venomous. So yeah, that was a fun evening playing Hunt the Snake, and it was very unsuccessful. I was the sensible one. I stayed in the house while they were outside pulling everything around, and I was thinking to myself, well, at least one of us won't get bitten. But yeah, they couldn't find it. I mean, Chansite was there watching them, but they just couldn't find it. Anyway, that was another aside. I'm good at these aside things. Blonde Scales 1. I've got the Blue Viper 2. Yeah, I like the look of it. I say I've got a Diplomat. It's just this. They don't grab me as much as some other pens. Marcy Me, we've got, is that a hand? I don't know, is that waving or clapping? Blonde Scales 1, I was lucky and I caught it on sale. Just scrolling up to the comments. Marilyn, I think Pelican should make a clear version of all their pens. Yes, I'm with you on that one. I know there's some Chinese ones you can get. Is it Admoc, which do some transparent ones? But I think, you know, Pelican, especially, I think I would buy even an M6. I might go down as low as the M600. I'd rather get the M800 if it was fully transparent. I've only got an M200 and an M1000, so I still need to get myself a 600 and an 800 eventually. But yeah, that would be really good. Marilyn, Admoc made a clear steel 400 and a clear gold 800. So yeah, it was Admoc I was thinking of. Ricardo, my preference in material is for acrylic pens over metal ones. I like the look of acrylic ones. What I do like, though, is I like the weight of a metal pen. I do like pens with a bit of weight, so shame you can't get them where you've got a beautiful acrylic, but they've somehow managed to put some weight in there. That would be nice. That's my tea finished. On to Ribena now. You can see it's warmer because most of my ice is still there. What I do, actually fill the glass with ice, then I make the Ribena in it. That means that it stays nice and cool because, you know, it might, in the hot weather, I'll drink it quick, but it melts quick. In this colder weather, it doesn't melt as fast, but it takes me longer because I don't need to drink it as much. Marcy Me chiming in late. I like all the coloured versions of Pelican. TWSBI does a good job providing clear versions. Yeah, I mean, you've mostly heard me saying enough times about the Ecos, how I love the transparent barrel on the Eco, on the VAX 700, on the Diamond 580. I saw pictures yesterday it was, of a new TWSBI Eco that's coming out. Is that they called it Slate Blue. And I'm not sure where they got the slate from because it looked nothing like any slate I've seen. But yeah, they're coming out with lots of different colours. I just aren't bothered with them anyway. Coming up in the next few weeks, there is a first impressions of a TWSBI. It says, so I know I've got my first impressions of an Eco. Here we go. I went for a fully transparent one. Okay. Which is really nice. Got a nice purple coloured ink in there. Might as well leave that there in case I need to pull any more out. Blonde Scales 1. I still need to add more Ecos to my collection. Yeah, so I've got that one. That's got a medium nib. I'm going to, might be a couple of months, I'm going to get another Eco with a broad nib, because that means I will then have TWSBI Eco with an extra fine, medium, broad, and 1.1 stub. Doing that because near the end of the year it'll be, I think, by the time I get all the pens, is I want to do a comparison between all the nibs on the TWSBI Eco. Ricardo, hi to Marcy. Talking of Pelican pens, I was derailed this week by Marcy's latest video about the M200, the marbled red. What a nice pen and a nice video too. Absolutely. I've seen that now advertised over here. So tempting, but I've got other things which I want to purchase first. Problem with the M200 for me is just a little bit on the small side for my hands. Marcy Me, I've considered but not yet purchased a Crossbearly Light. It's a nice pen. It's a good, reasonably priced pen. I would say it's up there with starter pens. For me, a bit on the thin side, but again, what are you expecting? It is what it says. It's a light pen. But yeah, it's a nice writer, lovely writer. And I'm loving the red ink in there. Jim, my Winsung 930 arrived yesterday. It's okay, but the nib is stiff as a nail for its size. The Asvine C2000 has a softer nib and writes better for me, but I'm a soft nib person. Pardon me. Yeah, I don't have either of those. I do have them on the list that I'm giving to my wife for potential pens for my Inky Countdown. So as you know, she tries to buy me some pens each year. That's on the list. I think the list is up to 30 different pens, of which she must buy 6 or 7. And then next year I'll look at the ones that I can get myself. Blonde Scales 1. I always want to play with a cap on mine with a magnetic closure. Yeah, it is one of those little fidgety type things. Leonardo, welcome to you. Hondian 1850 versus the 6013. 1850, I think that's the... Is that the Black Forest? I have got an 1850, I'm sure. Let me look. That's an Hondian in there. Have I got... No, I've got an 18... I think the 1850 is the Black Forest ones. 6013 I haven't tried, so I can't really comment. Marcy Me, I was quite pleased with the shade and the variations in this pen body. I'm always ecstatic with the performance of each nib, extra fine through to broad and steel and gold. Yeah, I've only got that one gold pen that I got a couple of months ago from Pelican, the M1000. That nib... so soft. So Jim, I think you would like that. It is honestly, it's like writing with a sponge. It is so soft. Ricardo, I only have a M200 in marbled, so you've seen my M205 today. Ricardo, green with a medium steel nib, and it's one of the best bouncy nibs I have. Yeah, them Pelican nibs are nice. Marcy Me, sorry guys and gals, since we've had our time change, I log on too early, then come back too late. Don't worry about that, Marcy Me, welcome. Atomic Elf, the snake is probably up inside the couch. That's what I said, so I told him to be careful sitting down. We haven't seen it in like 10 days, so chances are it's gone now. But they were all saying, oh, well, yes, let's go and do that. And Garry was saying, don't be stupid. If it is a dugite and it bites you, you are in serious trouble. Blonde Scales 1, maybe it crawled up into the couch. Atomic Elf, I like the way a metal pen holds the warmth from my hand too. I'm noticing that with that that black ebonite pen that I've got. That seems to be have a lot of warmth to it as well. David Me to Marcy Me. Hi Marcy. Marie, but I wish TWSBI would come out with more colours in transparent. Recently they've not released many transparent ones. Yeah, I think the colours I've got in my Eco is black and green, and they're solid colours. Oh no, the green might be a transparent one. K Rai, welcome to you. I'd be interested in that TWSBI comparison video. Yeah, I say I've just got to get the broad one now. I did think about getting the a swipe with a broad as well. Should I say instead? Because I know the nibs are the same, but no. Then I thought to myself, no, let's keep it standard. Let's keep it all Ecos, and I like the Ecos anyway. Marcy Me, wow, that fully transparent TWSBI will forever be a chameleon. You can change inks and total personality often. Yeah, that's why when I saw it, I thought, yeah, let's get that one. And with the nibs, I can swap the nibs easy. You just pull out the nib and feed and slot it into another one. And, once I've got all 5 of them standard nib sizes, that'd be dead simple to swap around. So not only can I change the ink and change the nib and get essentially a completely different pen. Marcy, me, David Parson, to David, hello there. David, at the Austin Pen Club today, a friend said he had a Mont Blanc Conan Doyle Writers Series fountain pen. I liberated it from him and welcomed it to my collection today. I bet you did. David, we got a smiley face. Blonde Snails 1, that's why I was just chuckling a little bit. Would be awkward to have a snake bite on your sit-up-on. Absolutely. Especially here, the advice for a snake bite is to like immobilize the limb. So if it was somewhere where you couldn't immobilize, that would be quite interesting. Yeah, and the dugout is fairly nasty. I'm not sure where it is in the world one, but in Australia, it's in the top 10 of most venomous. Marcy me, oh my Garry, the M1000 is the only size I don't own. Waiting for a great deal. Yeah, I spent ages waiting for a great deal. I ended up, because I wanted that Renaissance brown, I ended up biting the bullet and having to pay. There was a little bit of a discount, but not as much as I was hoping for. But yeah, it's really nice. Marilyn, they can't have my third limb. Nope. Yeah, I know what you mean there. Right, we've done that. Let's head on over to the presentation. There we go. Let me play it, then I'll hit the button. Keynote. I thought I'd fixed the site. Oh, it's another one. It's playing me up. I don't know. Let's go quickly through it, and then I'll go back to the thing. I thought I'd this is all. I've gone back to using Stage Manager, and I'm still getting loads. There you are. I'm just resizing that. Then I'll start it going again, and we have the full screen. Now we don't want the book of the week. We want this. So last week's videos. On Monday we had the TWSBI Swipe First Impressions. Really like it. I'm actually quite surprised that I like it. I didn't think I would. Why is that not full screen again? I don't know. Damned technology. There we go. Yeah, so the TWSBI Swipe, quite liking it. It's got that medium nib. That might be one I could do. I'm trying to think if I don't have a medium nib in any of the other TWSBIs there, so I was thinking, could I have done a comparison between the Swipe and the Eco and some others. I'll have to have a think about that. Wednesday, my first impressions of the Gin House Shark. Very impressed with it. Really cheap pen. Unusual shape. I mean, I would say it's more of a kid's pen. Very impressed with it though. Really quite like it. It's a bit on the thin side still for me, but I believe it's aimed at kids. And being a shark, you know, yes, we also get sharks around here. We get tiger sharks. I think there's been somebody who said there was a great white sighting a few months ago. Get quite a lot of tiger sharks around here. On Friday, I did my fountain pen focus on my Hondian The Light of Hope. I was a little bit disappointed with that video. It didn't perform as well as I was hoping for. But saying that, it's one of the lesser known pens, but I just love the name of it. The Light of Hope. And certainly today's world, that's what we all need. We need that light of hope. Coming up on Monday, I've got going to look at the Icky Na B5 notepad. So this is a pack of 2. Cheap notepad. My wife bought me as part of Inky Countdown. It's all right. Yeah, I think it was $6 for 2. But yeah, we'll have a look at that on Monday. Wednesday, the Platinum 377 Music Nib. My first impressions. It's a pen I'm enjoying. It's a pen that I'm having to force myself to not reach for it because it's so nice. Then Friday, this was actually quite a difficult one. I'm looking at 5 Easter themed pens. I'm actually going to be recording this tomorrow. What I've done is I've gone through a number of websites and found liturgical colours for Easter. and there are a number of them. And then what I've done is I managed to find 5 different colours, so I'm finding 5 pens in that colour family to represent that colour for Easter. So that's coming up on Friday. I thought, good day to release it, Good Friday. Then Saturday, we'll have a members call. This time it's going to be on Discord. It's not going to be on Zoom, so we get rid of that time limit I had on Zoom. I've been playing around with Discord during the week, so I've actually got Discord working. The other thing I've got going with Discord is I've worked out how to fetch the Discord voice and video into OBS, which means that I'll be able to do on these live streams an interview with somebody or a chat with somebody else. So we're both streaming, and essentially they come into me over Discord. I can then capture that and put it out over OBS, which then is what feeds into the live stream. So everything you see from me is controlled through OBS. Looking forward to giving that one a try. The first person hopefully will be a little bit technical savvy, because we may have issues, so we may need to do a bit of fiddling around. What I'd try and do is maybe a day or two before, hopefully we can get on the Discord, we can play around and I can test it. So yeah, that's something that to look forward to. So if you've got any ideas, or if you're willing to come onto camera, let me know. And then my books of the week. So I finished off Terry Pratchett Nation. I've got one more Terry Pratchett book to read, which is Dodger. I do have a paper copy of it, but I'm waiting for it from the library as an ebook. I prefer reading ebooks. I've got about another 4 weeks to wait for that, so that's coming. And then I've started Terry Goodkind, The Children of Dahara. So this is actually 5 books. This is an omnibus version of it. So all 5 have been merged down into one book. I'm about 30% of the way through. So again, we're back to Richard and Kaylin and their poem misadventures. Is that a nice way to put it? So yeah, really enjoying that. It's a good fun one. I'm not sure if it was written more for a younger audience than his previous books. Why I'm saying that, the chapters are very short compared to what they used to be. Previously, a chapter would be about 15 to 17-ish minutes to read. All these chapters are under 10 minutes, and most of them are 5 minutes and under. So, yeah, maybe it's been aimed at that younger audience. Let me just have a drink whilst I swap over. Right, let's head on back to the comments. Marcy me, I've had to catch a snake in my house and liberate him to the outside world. He's now free to do his predatory job outside. Yeah, over here it's drummed into you. You don't try and catch a snake because of the sheer number of venomous snakes. What I've got in my contacts the phone numbers for a couple of snake catchers. Never had to call them. We've been in Australia over about 20 years now. I've only seen 2 snakes, and they literally were within 10 days of each other. And we used to go camping an awful lot, so don't see them very often. And hopefully my son's not listening. I don't think he actually saw a snake. I think he saw something else and thought it was a snake, because to me, there was no sign of it. Blonde Scales 1, never had one inside, but I've had one in a flower bed. Yeah, fortunately, the ones I saw were when we were out on a walk. Kay Rye, you're much more brave than I could ever be. Absolutely, I'm with you on that. I'm often getting calls from my wife. The latest one was 2 days ago. She shouts to me and says, "Garry, come here." And usually there's a gecko. The one the other day, it was only about that big. It was about an inch long. It was a baby one. So I have to go. I've got a plastic tub and a piece of cardboard. So I catch them, slide them on, and I just take them outside and release them in the garden. Blonde Scales 1, only seen a poisonous snake once, a copperhead out in the woods. They're not. The ones I saw there was a tiger snake, that was actually laying in the middle of a path where we used to go for a walk around a lagoon. It had a concrete path and it was laid there sunbathing. And the other one, I'll say about 10 days later, we were out just down the road. There's where I live, we've got a lot of bush. So we went for a walk around the bush, and underneath one of the bushes curled up, there was a dugout. Blonde Scales 1, not counting snakes in a zoo. Marcy me, hubby was working out of town in San Antonio, and I had no choice. Our blessed Saviour guided and cared for me. I bet. If I saw a snake, it'd be shut all the doors and call the snake catcher. K-Rye, and I can appreciate snakes from a distance, but up close, it's a very different story. Yeah, again, I'm with you on that. Let me just look for something. I'm not sure if I might have a picture of the first one that we saw. Yeah, here we go. Let me share my screen. I haven't tested this for ages. No, that's a wrong screen. Is it? No. There we go. So this was the one that we saw. As I say, it was sunbathing on a path. Whoops, you can see all sorts of different animal pictures there. Where's my zoom? There you go. Sunbathing there, and you can see really thick body. I was quite surprised how thick it was. So hopefully I didn't just frighten off a load of people there. Blonde Scales 1, yay, longer chat. Yeah, that's right. I'm quite happy to that chat for quite a while. Blonde Scales 1, saw a two-headed snake in a zoo once. Oh, I don't know about that. Jim, anyone tried the affordable stacked nibs on AliExpress? I haven't. That might be something I may look at. I do like the look of them. Blonde Scales 1, got a new Nick Russell book from the library to read. Libraries are something people... I don't know if it's the same in the US, but people don't seem to take as much advantage of it as they possibly could. I read a lot of my books on e-books from the library. Sorry, just having another drink of water and blow my nose. I don't think people use libraries like they could do. It's such an awesome resource that we don't really see. Marcy me to K-Rye. Many people have that idea, but I try to allow them to live to their potential in God's creation and hunt the pesky little critters from the cornfield that I do not want visiting me. Absolutely. So to me, snakes are there. They do the job that they're meant to do. I just don't want them in the house or near the house. Marcy me, I sadly accidentally killed one a few weeks ago while planting flowers. Oh, that's a shame. I say, as long as they're not in the house, I don't really bother. Good night, all, Kaz. Thank you, Kaz, for coming in from lovely London. Blonde Scales 1. Don't want the poisonous ones around the house, but the others are fine. Marcy me. Good night to Kaz. We've got is that a wavy head? I don't know. Wavy, like magenta hand, maybe? Not very good with pictures. You know, people often say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Not to me. I don't know what it is about pictures. I just do not get pictures. Give me 1,000 words. I can understand it. Give me a picture. It's just a load of squiggles on a piece of paper. I say, but I'm weird anyway. Blonde Scales 1, dream well. Marilyn Dunt. Blonde Scales 1, great way to read books for free. Absolutely. I use Libby, and I deliberately bought a Kobo e-reading because in Australia you can use Libby on a Kobo where you can't on a Kindle. I know in the States you can use Libby on a Kindle, but for some reason it's not enabled here. So what I do now, if I want to read a book, I always go check the library first. If I can't get it from there, then I'll buy it. It breaks my heart to buy one. David, what inks should people avoid for piston filling pens as opposed to cartridge and converter pens? I'm going to say shimmer inks. My Where is it here? Oh, where have I put the... Oh, yeah. I had to re-ink my Pelican M1000 yesterday. There it is. I thought, let's fetch it out. Oh, it's a stunner. I had to re-ink that yesterday. The ink I had in it ran out halfway through what I was doing. So I cleaned it out and I wanted to use something different. So I filled it with Colourverse Christmas Star, which is a shimmer ink. So what I did is I left the ink on my desk for a couple of minutes so all the shimmer could settle. Then I poured carefully into my ink miser some of the liquid, again trying to avoid getting any shimmer come through. Then I filled it with essentially that non-shimmered ink now. The only reason I say avoid shimmers, it's a pain in the... It's not very nice. Let's be honest. It's a pain in the ass if you get problems with the flow. And I find that a couple of my piston pens and quite a few of my cartridge converter pens don't get on very well with shimmers. But other than that, I don't think there's many inks that would cause a problem. Marilyn, I can deal with snakes, but one tiny spider and I'm like, run away. Yeah, my son, he's 6'7", and if he sees a spider, he's gone. He won't even go in the room. He absolutely loathes them. And it doesn't matter how big or small it is. You know, he's a bricklayer. You know, he's a tough chap. But yeah, a spider, vroom, he's gone out of there. Ricardo, good night to Kaz. Marcy me, to David, good question. Blonde Skills 1, it helps having librarians as friends too. Absolutely. Again, good librarians, they know so much, you'd be surprised. Throat's starting to go a bit now. Miss Marilyn Darling, Platinum Carbon Black, Diatramentis Document Black, and Platinum Chow Kuro. I think these are ones to miss. Noodler's King Philip Island. Ricardo, Pigmented Inks. I would think, is it Noodler's Bay State Blue? Blonde Scales 1, I'd probably be gone if it was a big spider. Yeah, unfortunately, who's the one who gets called to fix it? Muggins here. So yeah, my thing comes out again. Again here, we got quite a lot of venomous spiders. Not as many. When we lived in Melbourne, over in Victoria, I think there was more. We see quite a lot of white-tailed spiders. They aren't overly venomous, but they can cause necrosis around a bite site. And I've seen pictures of where people haven't done anything and they've got necrosis going all the way up their arms. It can be a bit of a painful bite. We get a lot of huntsman spiders. These are the ones we see most of. They're about that big, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches from wide. And we got quite a few of those in the house. I try where possible to leave them alone. They're non-venomous and they eat other spiders. So, you know, they're our friends. Then the other one, let me get my photos up again. I took a photo of it the other week. The other one we get quite a bit of. I took the photo. Where is it? No, it's not that one. That's a kangaroo. Let's look here. Maybe I've deleted it. I'm just looking through my photos to see if I can find it. It's an orb weaver spider. Well, this one we said we were joking, saying we should charge it rent. Let me just look at my recently deleted. I may have deleted it. Trouble is, there's loads of photos to look through. What I'm very good about deleting photos I don't think I'll no longer need, and then I find I need one. I know this is exciting TV, isn't it? Watching Garry scrolling back through his photos. Let's go all the way up to the top. No, can't seem to find it. Oh, do you know how shark there? No. Find everything but. I'm surprised I deleted it because normally I keep them. It's not in there. And what's the other one? Personal. Oh, found it. Took me a while. So, this is in our front garden. There you go. This is the golden orb spider. So, that's a neighbour's drive. So, I'll just zoom out a little bit. Again, it's not a venomous one. You can see there it's got some prey there. So, yeah, not a small spider there. And the first time I saw it, we'd only been in here in this house maybe under 6 months, and I used to go out about 5:30 in the morning out to work. And the front of the house, we've got an overhang, we've got a couple of columns, which is where the path goes, and between these columns there was this web, and in the middle was this giant, massive, looked like a dinner plate spider, and I nearly had to go back in the house to change my underwear. It was not a nice spider, but they're good for you, so again, they eat other ones. Marcy Me, weird that many of my pelican piston filler pens have shimmer companion inks. It could be with a pelican ink. It's fine. I see, it's just me. I mean, there might not be a problem. I might just worry too much. Marilyn, pigmented inks are definitely difficult to clean out of a feed. And David to Marilyn, hey there. Marilyn, Octopus Write and Draw series are all difficult to get out of a normal Yoho feed. I've only got one, which I've only used in a Twisby. That's of these Octopus Write and Draws. Yeah, they are a pain in the butt. Marilyn, if I can't take it apart to clean it, I'm not interested. Marilyn, that's awful. And then Marilyn, Huntsman spiders are massive. Yeah, they can be. But they eat other ones, so I'm not overly worried. Marcy Me, again, I've captured a large brown spider from the shower and released outside. I want them to complete their intended predatory jobs outside. Absolutely. Blonde Skills 1, our bad spiders are black widows and brown recluse. Yeah, when we lived over in Victoria, we had a lot of redbacks, which are part of the black widow family. And then if you go to Queensland and New South Wales, you've got the funnel web spiders. They are extremely venomous. I don't know how true it is, but somebody said that there's one particular thing somewhere really up north in Queensland that if it bites you, you've got less than hours to live unless you can get treatment. So yeah, there are some quite nasty spiders. Marilyn, hi to David. Marcy Me, same here. Blonde Scales 1, biggest spider I've seen in the wild was a garden spider. The zigzag in the web is a sign what they are. Marilyn, oh my God, and then Ricardo, and that's the biggest problem with some piston pens, disassembly. Example is the Pelican Series M200 to M600. Only the M800 and M1000 can be fully disassembled for cleaning. K-Rise, is that a rosemary bush? No, it's some kind of native bush. It gets little purple flowers on it virtually all year round. Blonde Scales 1, as long as it stays outside, absolutely. Marcy Me, in Texas, we have the orb weaver spiders. Beautiful web artwork, absolutely. There's some bush near here to where we sometimes go for a walk. And if you go the right time of year, there's dozens of weaver spiders all in the trees, all with their webs. It looks really pretty, especially if you catch it when there's like a dew, so you've got like water on it, which really highlights the webs. Blonde Scales 1, you've got a lot of nasty wildlife to go along with the cool wildlife. Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing better than seeing a kangaroo. There's nothing worse than seeing a snake or one of these nasty spiders. Kangaroo, where we live, we actually get kangaroos in our front garden. We don't often see them because they mainly come at night. But yeah, it's lovely seeing them. And when we go, when we're driving into Perth, the route we take takes us again through quite a bit of bush. And there's one field where in like a couple of hours after dawn and a couple of hours before dusk, before it gets really, really hot and as it's cooling down, there's a whole mob of kangaroos there, and I love seeing them. Marilyn, yeah, the 200 series for its price should be disassemblable. Another word I can't say. Running out of cordial now. Marilyn, if I can take apart a Twisby, I should be able to take apart a Pelican for maintenance. Yeah, I mean, for me, I do that with my ecos. I just pull the nib and feed out. It lets me get in there really easy to clean them. Oh, sorry, I've just heard that when I had a cough there. Could do with a button which I can hit on my desk, which mutes the mic for them. David, has anyone had any experience with the Mont Blanc repair house for the US? My jewellery repair. I've heard lots of complaints about their customer service. Unfortunately, I can't comment. Okay, so that's all the comments for the moment. So please hit the thumbs up button every time you like, every time you comment. Just helps with the YouTube algorithm. Membership is available to the channel. Membership helps support what we're doing. Members get videos a couple of days early. As you can see, we've got, it's no longer a Zoom, it's going to be a Discord chat. We've got also for members once a month, they get like an Ask Me Anything video where I answer 3 questions that people have asked. Got any questions you want answered in that? Please send them to me. What I'm going to be doing is after 6 months, I will be publishing these Ask Me Anythings on the main feed. So the first one will come out start of May, I think it is. So keep an eye out for those. But we've got the Ask Me Anythings. Members also get the intro video. They get access to that. The actual full video, so that I try and do what I can for members. Everything that comes from membership, everything that comes from the YouTube ads, all goes into the channel. I'm going to be buying when the next payment comes in, which is in about 2 weeks' time. I've got my eye on my next purchase. Not a pen. I'm looking at upgrading the microphone setup. So at the moment I've got this mic here, but whenever I go away, you can turn around, it goes quiet. I've seen a wireless microphone, so it's a Rode Wireless ME. I've seen that on Amazon, so that's what I'm planning on getting, which gives me a wireless mic to put on my clothes. The receiver also has a mic built in, so I can have that down on my table. The idea is that I can now then be capturing the sounds of writing all the time, rather than just having to move the mic. So hopefully that'll help. So I'm hoping this is going to help increase or improve the channel audio. And this is one of the things I say comes from what people are sending as membership, as super chats, and also through the ads. I've done a thumbs up bit, haven't I? Thumbs up, yeah. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I like to see my subscribers' numbers going up. I know it's very much, it doesn't mean anything, but it's nice to see. It makes you feel nice. What else? Oh, and comment. So if you're watching this video after, don't forget to comment. If you're watching this video now, go on and comment as well. There's nothing stopping you. I love comments. I read every comment. Where possible, I reply to them, but it might only be with like a thumbs up icon if there isn't anything I really need to say. But I like to get in there and start conversations with them. Back to the comments. Blonde Scales 1. Take apartable. Yeah, lol. Marcy me. I've not experienced outside pen maintenance. Got a thumbs up from Marilyn. Blonde Scales 1. Have a great week all. David to Marcy. Count your blessings. Marilyn, thank you, Gary. Thank you to you. Thank you to everybody for joining. Tom, hello to David. Hello, Tom. Marilyn, I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I hope to see you all next week. Tom to Marilyn, yes. Ricardo, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's good morning from him, and it's good night from me. Oh, there's a throwback to the two Ronnies. David, Tom Morley, hi my friend, how you doing? Tom, great, I had a very bad experience with Mont Blanc customer service years ago. Marcy me, I'm excited about your new microphone. Yeah, it'll be, I say, 2 or 3 weeks before I can order it. I've just got to wait for the next lot of YouTube money to come in. And then David, I keep hearing people saying that the customer service is particularly bad. Just refresh the comments. David, God's blessings for the next week. Have a wonderful 7 days. Let's do one more refresh. I will leave the the chat open whilst the outro plays. Outro. Try and say your T's, Gary. Thank you all for your time. I love doing these. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be able to do these, because talking to myself, well, I'd just be normally sitting at home. So thank you all, and I'll talk to you again soon.